Hi, so this is a 2008 Jaguar XK, and I've had it, I think it was next demo when I got it, so no mileage, and I've had it ever since, and it's been a beautiful car, and it's got very low mileage. I think it's just over 30,000 at the moment, and so here we are in 2021, and I've been having a few issues. So the only real issues I've ever had with it have tended to be electrical. I had a problem with a headlight that wasn't functioning properly, and that turned out to be a scuffed wiring loom that was replaced. And I had pretty much a similar instance on the back with a rear light, brake light, that again was down to a loom that had gone, but that had corrupted the module in between the rear seats, so that needed to be done. And I've had the problem that a few owners seem to have had with the duckbill, or the air conditioning motor thing, the air conditioning drain that comes out. And I'm on a hill here. This is my driveway, but it's actually quite steep. So if I stand, yeah, you can't really tell. No real way of showing how steep it is, but it's quite an incline. And the duckbill thing eventually caused my motor to blow, so I've just had the motor done, and that was the consequence of that was that I was getting some leaking into the footwell here, but that was nothing compared to what's been going on. And this time last year I noticed that the carpet that normally sits into this footwell area was completely sopping wet down here at the back, and there we go. I'll explain that in a moment. And so I had to remove everything, all the seat and the carpet area, to get to that and dry it all out. And what it turned out to be was, if I face front, so you can see where I am, and right up into that corner beyond this silver panel footplate, and right up in there, as dark as you can see, which you probably won't even be able to see in there, there seems to be a seeping of water coming in through there, and then coming down through here, and then eventually, obviously because I'm on an incline, the water comes to rest at the back of this area and completely soaks the carpet. So yesterday, for the second time, I took everything apart, and I've now got the molded carpet module, if you like, upside down, drip drying, and then I need to basically fumigate it and vinegar it and demold it basically. And what I did the first time round, because some of it had rotted and I hadn't realised it had been getting so wet, I had basically rebuilt some of the moulded sections with latex rubber, which worked really well, and that's the only bit that's actually saved it, I think, this time. So I think what I'm going to do is dry it out again, because it stinks of like old dog or wet dog, or old towels, wet towels. It's really horrible, fuggy, damp smell in here at the moment. So I need to dry out all of this. Now this area here, this will dry out on its own. I mean, that is foam, but so long as that's compressed, that will actually dry out on its own in a matter of, well, I say days. If I can get some airflow in here, it won't take too long. But you can see the problem now that I've come uphill into the driveway again. There you go. If you can make out the sheer level of water that's actually sitting there. So the job is now, let's clear all that lot out. I've got to face the car down the other way for the time being anyway, so that the water will actually hopefully not come in. But I'm still left with this problem of where the hell that water's coming in from, because I thought, and I say I go put the camera in there again, I'm not sure that be able to see anything. There was like a very narrow sort of, you can see this like slight triangular section that sort of vanishes to a point in there. I don't know whether or not that's going to pick it up. And that seems to be when I poured water down over the engine and it went down through the rain shuttle. It basically, I thought, was coming in through a seam. The seam sealer had split. So I took it to my local guy, he's actually brilliant, to be fair to him, and he scraped off the old seam sealer and pasted down a load of fresh seam sealer, and I thought that had done the job. Up until we've had some really heavy rainfalls, and again the car's been pointed uphill, and now I'm beginning to wonder whether it was just that area or whether there is something else here that is causing it. Is it coming in, for an example, although I've got all the leaves are dropping now and it's all shit, but this door jamb, is it coming anywhere in through there and going down and rolling? You know, is it going down through the bonded windscreen? I just don't know. I cleaned this out this morning. The leaves are all dropping off the trees. But it really is a pain in the neck, because the last thing I wanted to be doing is taking this car apart all over again. And because the garage is in a state of disrepair at the moment, I can't really get it under cover. So I've got this horrible feeling that it could be getting access from somewhere else, although to be honest, that all looks pretty dry in there, even though it's been heavy rain. So it doesn't look to me as though water is necessarily finding its way from that point. So I think it's more likely still it's going to be going through the shuttle. And if I just open the bonnet again, I'm not going to take all this apart just for this video, but you know, all of this obviously lifts off, and you can take all this off, and then you can see, again, you won't be able to see anything down through there, but if I put a torch down there, you can see it's all got fresh grey body sealer, because instead of having like a plastic shuttle that goes down to a plastic tube and out, because the car's aluminium, it's an aluminium monocoque, the water just actually flows over the actual monocoque and straight down behind the front wheel, down here somewhere. But I do need to get to the bottom of this problem before I put the carpet back in again, which in itself is now going to take a good month to dry out properly, and parts of it I'm probably going to need to rebuild again. But just to give you an idea that the actual problem here, I mean, we're not talking a little drop of water. I'm bearing in mind I emptied this out yesterday on a flat driveway, but we're talking a little paddling pool there. If I had a duck, it'd be quite happy. So I'm just going to get rid of a lot of this shit. And it's really soul destroying, because you know the car is so in such good condition overall. You know, it's not got any body marks on it. I had the seats all redone about 2 years ago, so you know, from sitting on them and little fine cracks, they were all recoated and repainted, and I get everything done as it needs to be done. It's just, and this is one of those things that is an instant destroyer of cars, water, isn't it? Just think, shit. But it only seems to happen when the car is parked on my driveway facing up the driveway, and I have got quite a steep driveway. I mean, it literally is uphill, my driveway, and I am thinking that, yeah, that's causing it to come in. So what I'm interested to know from this video is if anybody else has experienced a similar situation, and bearing in mind this is not a situation with the aircon drain. That's all been dealt with a long time ago. I did have that problem, basically chopped the end of my duckbill off, and I've not really had that problem since, but it did over time corrode the blower motor, so I had that done just a few weeks ago, to be honest. But this problem is beyond it, and I need to know where this water is coming from. I mean, I've just pulled into I just took the car out to go and put some petrol in, and you've got the don't know whether you can see this, or my fingers are going to get in the way, but you've got these crevices in here, so the water, as I was driving along, was obviously flowing backwards and forwards. It came into the driveway, and the angle of turning up into the driveway sent another torrent of water down to the back there. So really not very clever. You know, taking out the insides it's not difficult. You start with taking the seat out, and the seat basically is attached by two big bolts that sit on the rear, and two bolts that basically sit at the front. Then you can lift the seat back and disconnect the airbags and power seating switches. That's no problem, it just stays there. The seat can then come out with relative ease. The only other part you have to do then is take the seat belt off. So at the moment, that's what's left of my seat belt, and that goes in there, I think. In there, yeah, I think. and that's just held in with a single screw. What else is there? This trim, there's a little catch that's just here that you just, little plastic cover cap that you just pull down and ease out, and unscrew that, pull that down and around. That unclips the door framing, and then you have to, that's the bonnet release, you just have to undo that, unclip, unping that cap there, and that will actually release that whole side. And so all of these 3 pieces of plastic just lift off. And then the only other thing is obviously take the rear seat off, which just pings up, that's no problem. Back piece there pings up, and then this you can just ping out on on metal clips, and just push the carpet down, and pull it out. And just be careful, because you've got another fuse box in, if I can get the camera in the right position, you've got another little fuse box in there, so you don't want to be upsetting that. So just be careful and just pull the carpet down. And it has a little bit of insulation under there, which just literally lifts down as well. So you can remove the car with the right tools in just a few minutes. That's not really a problem. It's just the amount of water was just a absolute shocker. Didn't expect that. So I say again, if anybody out there has got one of these or suffered a similar problem and has actually worked out where the leak was actually coming from, I'd really be pleased to find out, and it would help me out a lot. So that's it for now. I'll try and do another video when I put everything back in, and do a video when I'm repairing or rebuilding my moulded carpet, which I got a horrible feeling I'm going to have to cut out additional areas of rubber, of foam, and replace it with latex rubber again. So until then.